Wow. Garage is open. What? Yeah, it's January. It's not too bad out here. Wind's not blowing. Not too bad for a, I forgot what the day is. Mid-January, January 9th or 10th or something like that. Anyway, yeah. Shop's open a little bit, letting some of the warmth come in. It's 50 degrees out here, 50, 51. So anyway, yeah, let's get back at it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, let me kind of go explain. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, go ahead and click up there on the link. I think it's up there, whatever. Go ahead and click on that. That will show you kind of what we're going to be doing with this whole project. It's our wiring project for the race car, okay? And as I was making the videos for part 2 and part 3, I noticed some of my videos were getting really long-winded and stuff. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to insert kind of a beginning video, which I'm doing right now for you guys. Then I'll insert the other videos, how to do stuff and all that stuff. But anyway, with part 2, what we're going to go over are the connectors and stuff, what we use, how to connect things together. It'll be stuff like this and all that, how do you put the connectors together and all that stuff. Also might go over how we're going to lay out the circuit board, or the what I call the power panel board. It'll be something similar to like that, okay? And then in part 3, we'll go back over the final product of the power board. We'll go over the schematic and possible how to get all the connectors wired up in the car and all that as well. Okay, I don't think I'm going to have a part 4, but definitely it's going to be 3 parts to this, because I think one other part, probably in part 2, we're going to go in how to make the new panels as well. Okay, got different type of switches and all that stuff, making out ABS plastic. So I'll show you how to cut all those out, drill it out, and all that good stuff as well. That might be part 2 or part 3. I haven't decided where I'm going to put it. Anyway, I'm making a lot of different videos, so I'm going to be clipping in and out of explaining how I'm cutting things, splicing things, crimping things, soldering things, you name it. I'm going to be talking a lot about it. So anyway, with that, let's go ahead and get started and go from here. Okay, one thing I have probably not shown you how to do yet is how to make connectors for the ends. Oh, there we go. How to make connectors for these and stuff. This used to be an old style connector I used to use. Okay, these are a little bit of cheaper ones. I think you can get these off Amazon. I don't know, for a kit of them, maybe for 12 bucks or something like that. The newer style ones, if I can show you, these guys right here. Oops. Okay, these are a little bit different style connectors. These are about 25 bucks for a kit. And I'm going to show you each of the kits and let you make the choice of which one to use. So, anyway, okay. This kit here, you can get this off of, let me move this around here a little bit. There we go. You can get these off of Amazon. I mean, they are fairly cheap, but they do work. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can't complain about them. All the connectors I have used or made, I have never had issues with them. This style kit is only good up to, will not do 14 gauge. 16 gauge is the biggest that will do. Okay, so that's kind of the downside of this. It is a little bit, these are not like weather pack connectors by no means. But they do a fairly good job connecting together. They do have these little pins you have to crimp in and all that good stuff. Okay, these funky things in here. So that's one set of kit. Now this new style kit here I just recently purchased. Okay, it's more like the weather pack style connector. Okay, but I'll bet half the cost. Okay, now I do like these connectors. So for example, this is like a 3-pin connector. What it looks like, these ends flip up here. I don't know if I got any flipped up or not, but anyway, think you can get the gist of it, how they go together and all that good stuff. These are more weather pack style related, or, you know, kind of looks like it. But I do like this kit so much better. It's almost twice as much as this. I think it's around 12, 15 bucks. This whole kit here, $26. Okay, they come in various assortments, various number of pieces. That I don't know if you can see that or not, but yeah, they come in many different styles and stuff. So for this project, I actually purchased 2 of these kits. Okay, and what also I do recommend getting is a crimper. Okay, this really does help crimping the leads down and all that stuff. So okay, so now you see the 2 different type of connector kits that you can purchase. You can either go, you know, cheap out and get one of these. You can do it. There's nothing wrong with it other than the gauge size. Okay, this one will do 14 gauge. Okay, so that's what most of my wiring in my car is, 14 gauge. So something to be concerned about. If you got 16 gauge, this kit works good. You can do 14s in these. It's really, really tough to do. I don't recommend it, but it can be done. Versus this, we'll do 14 gauge, no problem. So yeah, that's the 2 big things you have to, you know, think about when you're doing a wiring project such as this. Okay, what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to actually with the new style kit, this guy here, okay, I'm going to put some connectors on the end of this here. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it. For those who don't know how to do it or set these connectors up, it is really simple. If you have the right tools, it should make this go a little bit easier if you have the right tools. If you don't have the right tools, you can still do it, but I'll show you using the right tool versus using an alternative method. So anyway, let me get my camera set up, and I'll get started here, and I'll show you how you make connectors for these. So here we go. Okay, now be one of those people that, hey, this shows what the tools are required to do this project. Anyway, yes, a good stripper, you need that. Wire cutters, if you don't have the strippers, you can still kind of trim the wire off with those, or just for cutting wire in general. Okay, crimpers, this is crimping those pins. If you don't have that, the alternative method is good old-fashioned needle nose. So yeah, you can do it. Sometimes it makes things a little bit easier using the right tools. So let's get started getting these connectors on here, and I'll get my camera set up so you can show how I'm going to do this. Okay, what you're going to have to do, you're going to have to trim your wires. And this is about 1/4 of an inch expose the wire. Okay, so for example, on this one here, just take your wire cutters here, go down about 1/4 of an inch, extract it. What I typically like to do is take the wire, just kind of spin it around like that. Okay, so the next step process, you want to put your boot on. Okay, this rubber seal. This is what actually will seal your connector to make it somewhat watertight. Okay, and what you want to do is just get it there. I don't know if you can see that or not. You want to get it right at the end of the wire where the insulation stops at. So you want to do that to both your wires. Okay, then the next step you want to do is, I'm going to get this on, there we go. The next thing you want to do is to go ahead and use your the pin that what you want to use. Okay, now hope you can see this. What you want to do, you'll see these 2 tabs here. These 2 tabs here is what's going to go around that insulator, or that piece of rubber here. Okay, so this is where this piece, and see how the wires are going down into the little crimp piece. Okay, so that's what it should look like. Hopefully you can see that. Hope that's coming out. Okay, it's hard to see sometimes. See if it focuses here. Maybe not. That's better. Okay, so basically you want this wire to go in where that is. Then once you got where you need to, this is where these crimpers comes in handy. Okay, so you just basically take your crimper in there, and you want to crimp those tabs, and it's going to go actually on the wire. Okay, it's going to crimp it down to the wire. so they're not going anywhere. Okay, so they should look something like that. Okay, the alternative method would, instead of using crimp wires, you'll actually use the needle nose to do the crimping for you. So you kind of fold it over, fold the other one over, and just crimp it down. Okay, now the next step, you got to take these two tabs here. Okay, you got kind of around that, and those need to go ahead and clamp on around. So once again, if you have your tool, you just kind of lay it in there and see if you can see it happen or not. There we go. You just kind of gently turn it around. Okay, see how it kind of rolled around that piece of rubber? Now this thing's not going anywhere. Okay, it's pretty much stuck. It's crimped down. It's secured. Get this all crimped up. Okay, so that's all crimped up. Now the next thing you want to do is insert this into here, and that's what we're going to show you next. I'm going to pause it right here, and what sometimes, or what some people would do, or what I have been doing on some of my connectors, I would take some solder and actually solder down in here and down in here. And what that does, it makes sure that that wire is not going to pull out, and it is making a good firm connection to that. So, okay, the next thing you have to do is you're going to have to open up the clip part of the back of the connector. It's kind of like a little shell, if you will. They just have to flip up. Now we're ready to insert the wires into the back of the shell. So that's what I'm going to show you next. Okay, and like I said, I'm very particular about the order of which wires, especially for power wires. I always will put the power on a certain position on the switch or on this connector. I have done that all my connectors in the car, so no sense of change. So like this is marked A and B. B, I'm going to put the power lead wire in. Okay, so all you need to do is insert it in there. You'll hear it kind of click. Okay, you'll see it kind of pulled out right there. Okay, or it not pulled out, but you can see it stuck in there. So all you have to do is get the next one in there, then you'll see both wires. So all you have to do next is kind of flip the clip down on it. Now she is secured, and that definitely is not coming out. And it kind of locks the, I don't know if you can see it or not, but kind of locks the seals in place so they can't pull out as well. So everything is good and secure. It's weather tight. It's not going to get any moisture in that connector whatsoever. Especially if you do it with the other side. It has a nice rubber seal on it. So once everything comes together, it's really sealed up pretty good. So very little moisture would be able to get into these wires whatsoever. So, okay. So hope you enjoyed how I installed these connectors. Hopefully you got something from it. It's something that a lot of people don't know how to do, or they're too afraid to tackle it themselves. But trust me, this is an easy thing to do. It gives a good firm connection, so you know when things click together, it is connected, and it just looks very professional as well. So that's the whole key to this, is very professional. Like I said, this kit here, I got that on Amazon. I will post a link here in my video where to pick this up, as well as the crimper tool and all that good stuff, and wire cutters too. So anyway, got all this on Amazon. Yeah, so far I'm impressed with the quality of the connectors. I think they're going to work out just fine for me. I have installed those connectors on many of my other panels and stuff. So this is my last panel I need to do. I said, hey, I'll just shoot a video about it, and hopefully you got something from it. So with that, I'm done with all the wire connectors and all that stuff. I got one more connector to make, but for the most part I'm done putting the panels connectors on it. The next step is to wire the other end of it. So anyway, I got a lot more connectors to make, but with that, on to the next project, and I think that is the panels, how to make the panels and all that stuff. So kind of give you a sneak peek. Yeah, these are the finished products, but guess what, I'm going to show you how I made those panels as well, especially cutting ABS plastic. If you've ever not done it before, it's really simple, especially cutting it and drilling those holes. It is really simple. Where show you little tidbits information what I use to cut the holes. So anyway, especially those big holes, those can be a bear. So anyway, here we go with the panels. Okay, I'm getting ready to make a new panel here. This is metal, but the switch is going to be in a different location. So instead of making out of metal, I'm going to make it out of plastic. So anyway, what I did, got a piece of ABS plastic. I got that from Amazon. Pretty nice stuff. It's easy to cut and make, you know, it's just easy to work with versus the metal. Anyway, so what I did, basically laid this up here. And the first thing you really need to do is score the plastic. So just take basically a box blade and just kind of score it back and forth. Once you got it scored, you'll be able to kind of bend it, and you'll be able to snap right across that where you snap it at. So let me show you how I did that and show you how I snapped across. Give me a second, I'll set the camera. Okay, you just basically keep going across after you got what you want to cut out, so to speak. Just keep scoring it back and forth with your box blade. Okay, and make sure you get to the other side as well. Hope you can see that. Okay, make a few passes. Sharp blade goes a long ways. Okay, then what you do, you start to kind of bend it a little bit. Okay, and it feels like if it's not bending, continue to keep cutting through till it feels like it's going to go ahead and bend. So okay, I cut a few more times. Then you can start to see, when you crease it, you start to, I don't know if you can show that in the light or not, but you can see these lines on the back side of it. So it's almost all the way cut through. So you just kind of there, see how it kind of folded over, and kind of play with it a little bit. There we go. Voila. That's how you cut it out. Makes a nice clean cut. Don't have to worry about using saw blade, any of that stuff to make the mess. This guy will cut right through it. So anyway, so the next step I need to do is obviously I have to cut this hole here, trim off the sides to match this template here. Same principle, I'll go ahead and cut this here, get the corners around. This one I'm actually going to use a hole saw to cut the gauge out. Makes a nice clean cut. It's really easy to do. So let me get this cut, trim out the corners, then we'll get the switches laid out. Okay, I had to create a new panel. One, I had this switch too far to the edge. Secondly, I had to add one more switch to this panel. So anyway, what I should have done is stuck this thing into where it's going to be held at, and this outline is the opening to the outside. Okay, and here is kind of the inside. So let me show you. So anyway, that's what I'm talking about. Oop, let me just go like this. So yep. My house again. Seems like it goes off each time I'm doing a video. But anyway, this is the opening, and that red line represents that opening, if that kind of makes sense. So anyway, what I'm getting ready to do next is go ahead and... Oh, there we go. So what I'm getting ready to do next is I marked... This is about the diameter of the switch. These are the switches I'm using. So I kind of centered those up how I want it. Then this is where I'm going to drill the hole at, pop the switch in. So anyway, that's what we're going to do over there on the drill press. So, so let's get started. But what I was getting ready to say, but right before I signed off, kind of strange. This is this dial saw thing. You can make any size opening you want, and that's basically what I did here to make this hole into here. So as you can tell, if I can get it out of there. Anyway, that's the plastic that was from the hole, so, or from the panel. So anyway, these are pretty nice, making nice perfect holes for your gauges. So if you don't have one, get one. It makes it cutting really good. Okay, you can see the switches all installed and all that good stuff, but what I did not show you how I cut these holes. Okay, and what I used is what I call a taper bit, I guess what it is, different sizes. You just plunge that through the plastic. I think it went up to that size right there. Can't remember what size it is, Anyway, these things will go right through that plastic and make a perfectly round hole for that. So anyway, yep, that's how you do it. Okay, guess what? I don't know if you can see that or not, but this board is pretty much done right now. I got all the relays in position, got them all connected to the fuses and out to the outputs of it as well. So most of the relays are going to have an output. That's the where it's going to go out to the device. So if you have a headlight or a fan or anything like that, that's where it's going to go out. So then also has a input, which is basically your switch. So when you toggle your switch, it flips the relay and sends power out to that device. So that's the reason why on relays, typically you'll have I call it an in and an out, basically an input output. So input is like your, the switch, and output is obviously what comes out of the relay. So all those are set up. All the relays are fuse protected. So I will have fuses on all the relays. So make sure I protect the device, like the water pump, fuel pump, whatever. So everything's going to be fused. What's nice about these fuse holders, they actually have lights on them. And that shows that the lights are on. Basically, we got power, the lights off. That's where the fuse is popped at. So it's a good little feature on these fuse holders and stuff. So as you can tell, I am splitting my voltage up. I do have 16 volts and I do have 12 volts. Okay. And like I said in earlier in my videos, earlier in the video, that the 12 volts is mainly going to go to my lights. That's my gauge lights, headlights, tail lights, any of that stuff. Any of my lights, interior lights, that's going to be my 12 volt circuit. Everything else is 16 volts. So anyway, so I'm basically divided up. A lot of people probably just want to run a 16 volts across. That's a good, that's a good thing as well. I decided to break up my voltage a little bit. So anyway, so the next step, what we're going to do is to come off all these connectors and stuff, and I'm going to build plugs for where we'll plug it in. So I'm going to have a little plug out here and plug it in. Those are those weather pack connectors I'm going to make for each of these connectors and stuff. So I just had to determine how many pins or how big the connector for each of these connections, if I want to do a 4 here or a 6 here or whatever. So I still got to decide how I'm going to wire or what type of connectors I'm going to set up over here. So anyway, but with that, I'm pretty much done with this board. All I have to do next is kind of update my schematic, make sure I'm keeping this up to date to match what's on this board here. So I've made quite a few changes to it. I made some more documentation of where things are laid out. So basically I need to update my schematic. And once I get my schematic updated, that schematic is going to match the board 100%. So I'll know where everything is at. So anyway, so right now I'm done with that and on to the next project or next step. Well, I just want you to thank you for watching part 2 of the project wiring series. I guess is what we can say, race car wiring. There we go. Anyway, but if you got any questions, leave it down in the comments. I'll answer them best I can. Hopefully you get something good out of this video. This is something that I think is good and beneficial for everybody. So with that, if you do like what you see, hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell. That will alert you when we get new videos released. And go from there. So anyway, and also please follow me on Instagram, because everything that you've seen here I have already released up in Instagram. I put little bitty pictures up there and release them as I complete the project. So anyway, with that, on to part 3 coming up next. Thank you.